Winston and Felix here, and Friday's job numbers were the biggest scandal, the biggest lie we have seen in a very, very long time as Winston's trying to snatch somebody else's treats. There we go, the corgis don't seem to appreciate it, do they? Much like I didn't appreciate the jobs data, and I'll tell you why. The headline number said we created a load of jobs, 200-something thousand. Now, the government has done the biggest fudge on this ever. On so many levels, it was actually really quite hard to detect. The first thing they did is they revised down November and October. And therefore that makes the December gains look bigger. I mean, you really have to think of this stuff, right? How do you come up with this? And they've revised down the last 11 months of jobs data. So they basically fabricated to make it look higher, then they revise it down a month later when nobody's watching. But that isn't everything. Most of the jobs created were created by the government and healthcare, which is government dominated. So that again is a load of nonsense. You might be thinking, okay, Felix, but there's still more jobs, right? Golden retrievers are still happy, and look at this beautiful spot we're in. This is one of my favorite places in Hong Kong. And it doesn't end there. Actually, what happened, if you look at full-time jobs versus part-time jobs, and this really matters because this is what's going to drive Fed decisions in the market in the next couple of months. We lost 1.5 million jobs in December in the US. Full-time jobs, 1.5 million. That's the biggest drop since COVID hit. And the US gained about 800,000 part-time jobs, and a couple of 100,000 people are now working multiple part-time jobs, so they weren't working in November. Well, really what that means is that throughout the entirety of 2023, no jobs were created, only part-time jobs, McDonald's jobs, and huge number of people are now working multiple jobs. And what does that mean? Well, it means that they're struggling to make ends meet. Nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, you know what, I'm going to work multiple jobs today because it's fun. No, you don't do that. It means because you can't get a really good full-time job. So how does that all add together? Well, wage growth is up a little over the year. But wages are still, if you account for inflation, far lower than they were pre-COVID. So the American worker has less full-time jobs. He's getting paid less in real terms. And this is being sold to you as some sort of economic miracle. Now, when I say this, people often say, oh, Felix, you must be a Republican or anti-Biden or something. Don't care. Don't particularly care who's in the White House. They all do these fibs and lies, and it's not a Democrat invented thing, like the previous people did the same thing. So it's nothing to do with that. I don't have any stake in US politics. What I care about is markets and money. And the question, therefore, is, are we going to get a recession? Because we've been fed this false data. We keep a bit of an eye on Winston there, who's undoubtedly eating sticks. Which is all right in sort of moderation. So, recession, yes or no? Well, to an extent you could say softer jobs data is actually good because it means the economy is slowing and the Fed can therefore cut interest rates, which is good for tech stocks, good for all stocks, but particularly the non-profitable techs will benefit. A 1% cut in interest rates should push stock prices up 10%. Now, it's already done that because we're already expecting about 4 or 5 rate cuts this year. Aren't we, Winston? Winston's sniffing around for rate cuts. But the question becomes, if this becomes a recession, then the story is very different. Because in a recession, earnings come down, don't they, Winston? Winston? Yes. So, at what point does this impact big tech stocks particularly? Now, they are largely immune to a bit more unemployment. They don't really care, and by they I mean the Microsofts, the Netflix, those kind of people. Why? Because they have turned themselves into subscription businesses with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of customers, and therefore they're not that susceptible to a few people losing their jobs. Oh, look at those guys. They look like fun, don't they, back there? You can go and play if you like, Winston. But if the economy slows significantly, then companies will delay their spending. So something like Microsoft Azure's the cloud business will slow in growth because companies will get more cautious. So it's a question of degree. A little bit of a slowdown is completely fine. No one's going to really care. But a major slowdown is going to matter. Oh, look at that one. He looks like fun. Winston's already played with a pack of about 15 friends just now, one level up in this lovely park. So he's a little less enthusiastic as he usually is. He's just like, oh God, that looks exhausting. So in short, this could be fine, but you got to watch this space. And next time we get jobs data, you're going to have to really, really dig deep underneath it to see if this is something that really is what they say it is. It probably isn't. And then we have to address the extent to which the government is basically lying to us. And it's a funny world we live in, isn't it? It's a really funny world we live in. Now, some people said to me, Felix, if we get a recession, then, you know, I can't make any money and all that kind of stuff. I can't get ahead. And I want to say to you that's just not true. I've started pretty much every one of my businesses that have succeeded in a recession. Recessions are actually a gift because most people have the mindset of, I can't do anything, and therefore they don't do anything. And therefore your competition is essentially zero. Where did Winston go? Winston's down here. There he is. He does look quite sleepy, doesn't he? So the real economy does not affect you. You make your economy. And that's a really important mindset to accept. You can do whatever you want. You can go online, you can create a business, you can offer your services to people anywhere in the world, and there is always somebody willing to pay for something good that delivers them value. So don't think that a worse economy is going to be bad for you. It isn't. It's actually a brilliant opportunity. And as an investor, it might be a brilliant opportunity to buy stocks cheaper, but you need some cash flow for that. And therefore you might want to get some extra income streams going. And you know, I always ramble on about trading because making your money work for you is ultimately financial freedom because it means you don't have to work for money. And that's what separates the 1% and the 99%. And the reason we have inequality, it's not actually fundamentally this unfairness in the system and all of that. Yeah, there is that. Of course there is. There is corruption and there is poor education and there are many things. But ultimately it's mindset and knowing how to manage your money. And most people are never taught it. I wasn't taught it. I was just fortunate. I landed a job in an investment bank. I was fortunate to find this guy. And that's changed my outlook. And I'd encourage you to come and learn with us on Tuesday how it actually works. How do we manage money? How do we do it in a couple of hours a week? How is it actually much simpler than you think? Come and join us, felixrenzel.org/webinar. There the wind picks up just in time. And I wish you a glorious day. Don't let the news get to you. It's important to understand it, but don't spend your entire life focused on the negativity and the noise out there, because again, that isn't really going to get you anywhere. Wake up in the morning, and that's what I do is I sit down over breakfast, and we're going to do that as we go home now, and I write down why I'm getting out of bed today, and I write down what I want to achieve today, what would make today a great success. And by doing that every single morning, and then at the end of the day I write down what I did and what was great about today, that keeps me focused, keeps me on track, and it keeps me doing what I want to be doing. And this guy, of course, helps a lot because he's just so much fun. Winston, come on, go. There he is. You think he's going to play? Winston, go chase. I think he's a bit tired, to be honest with you. Come on, say hi to these guys. There he is. There's some lovely dogs up here in the mornings. But he's already played with his favorite pack, so he's a little worse for wear. I wish you a beautiful day. Thanks for tuning in, and there is Winston. He's having a nice time. There we go. There we go. Whitson, come on. Come on.